those guys are not doing the actual problem solving.
Yeah.
We want to solve it correctly.
Yeah.
And I remember when we sat and combined all the idea, this is what we came up with. We said, we're going to submit an idea. It was called Smart Charger.
Mm-hmm.
And that charger, you are able to, our goal, our vision anyway, was that you're going to charge your phone using your voice.
Okay.
And that came from a very interesting science logic, that physics, that sound energy can be converted into electric current.
Yeah.
I know what we're doing here. Actually, we're converting these voices into electric something, and then that's how things are supposed to happen somewhere using the microphone.
Yeah.
When the technology for the microphone is happening, how it works is that before it's replicated for other people to hear in the speakers, it's been converted into electric somehow in some way. So that's what
you wanted to create a charger from that.
So we wanted to say, the moment your phone is going to black out,
you speak.
We are going to put a small hardware.
Like God speaking, let there be.
We're going to put a small hardware near the USB port.
Yeah.
And that hardware will do the conversion of your voice through a bit of a speaker-related thing. Yeah. Converts it, charges it.
Right.
That's what we proposed.
Yeah.
And indeed, when you look at it, it was interesting. It was amazing. By then, guys had wireless chargers. You remember, wireless chargers. And those wireless chargers were like the thing. But if we succeeded with that, we are going to be way on the top. So our research went on, we went and submitted, we pitched, I think we were third. Anyway, we were third. Even the first guy was brilliant. But after that, we realized that the kind of sound and noise that we needed to charge a phone was equivalent to that of an aircraft. You see? Yeah. But I believe if that solution is revised right now, to date, maybe something can happen. But again, that was a different team, and then that is what it was. Anyway, I wanted to credit the first guy that won us. I don't know if you've heard about Matibabu.
Matibabu, no.
Matibabu won the Africa Engineering Academy.
The man is called Anatoli Kirigwajjo. I hope I pronounced that well. He's a founder of Yunga Technologies based in Kampala. And he believes that Yunga is the Uber for community security. It's a digital community security platform that connects neighbors to neighbors and neighbors to the law enforcement in case of an attack or of an emergency. Yunga won the Innovating Justice Challenge Kampala 2018, organized by Hill Justice Accelerator, that is the Hague Institute of Innovation of Law. He also took the first place as an organization at the Global Innovation through Science and Technology competition that took place at the Global Entrepreneurship Congress in Bahrain in 2019. He is basically a technology person who is applying technology to offer different solutions into this world. And I had a conversation with him, even as you've heard. I had a very nice conversation with him and I learned a lot from him, and I'm sure you too will. If you have kids who are passionate about tech, it's time to let them listen to this. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
Signatures episodes are brought to you by AfricanBooks.com, which is an online ebook platform that seeks to broadcast the African Christian voice to the world. As such, they have become a hub for African content, connecting African writers and publishers with a global reading audience. Publishing your books on their site is free and easy, with authors having full control over their content and the price they choose to sell at it. I was personally blown away by the concept that AfricanBooks.com is coming up with. Things like no content from their site or their app is going to be run on laptops so that people can easily copy. In other words, your content as a writer is restricted from digital multiplication or digital copying. So you remain intact with your information. And the other concept that I got so blown away with was the fact that in some time to come, in due course, AfricanBooks.com will be starting to announce African Writer of the Year. In other words, there will be competitions in all African countries to figure out who is the best published author. And I also fell in love with the fact that countries can actually compete against each other. We can have African authors going at it after each other, and your book as an author will be reviewed and have some stars and recommended upon that particular platform. The thing is that it's an answer to Amazon.com. You know, with Amazon, what happens? You've got to have an account in the Americas or whatever, or in Europe before you can get paid as an author. But here, the local currency is in play and the local means of getting paid are in play. So to get started, go to AfricanBooks.com as an author or as a publisher, and even as a reader if you wanted to read your African favorite authors. Enjoy. Well, hello and welcome once again to Life Signatures Radio. This is a Wednesday, and in this month of this is the month of September. We're talking about innovation and technology, and our guests have been giving us details about their lives and what they're doing and where the passion for technology is. And today I had an opportunity to do the same thing, to travel around Kampala, and I'm in the office of I'm seeing some awards and all these things, but I'm in the office of guys who are doing crazy things that we're going to talk about today. But even before we can talk about that, my friend, how are you doing?
Oh, my brother, I am doing great and happy to see you here.
Yeah. Does your name Anatoli mean something? At first I used to think you are the son of Kamugisha Anatoli.
Kamugisha Anatoli just reminded me I need to have a meeting with him.
Yeah.
We're not in any way related,
yeah.
But the name Anatoli actually means sun rays. It's an Italian name. So
it's an Italian name?
Yes.
Anatoli?
Yeah, mixed with Italian and then French, yes. So it's not in any way a local
all these
name.
Years I've been thinking Anatoli is a Western Ugandan name.
Yeah, maybe there's a saint in Hoima that is attributed to that name, but it's not a local name, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, so you guys are not related at all?
We guys are not what?
You're not related, you and Anatoli?
No, we are not related. Only that I need business from him.
You've already talked to him?
Yeah, I think he's one of the coolest guys. I gave him a text on LinkedIn and he responded, so I need to follow up anyway.
Nice. So, my friend, we're talking about innovation and technology, and I know there are quite a number of things that you do in there.
Yeah.
And we might learn one or two things from you.
Yes.
But before we can get there, did you all this time want to do tech? How did you end up in tech?
Wow, that's a very interesting question. So, first of all, for all viewers, my name is Anatoli Kirigwajjo. Maybe Kirigwajjo now. confirms to the locality.
Yeah.
So I cannot say that I started to know about technology at a young age or something like that. No, it all started when I was given an application form to the university. They say they have 4 choices, and one of it was actually computer science. But back then in my mind, I was like, maybe if you wanted statistics, bachelor's of statistics. So it didn't come through, and then they said, hey, we have given you computer science. So meanwhile, the only thing I'd done about computer was to do computer games, FIFA. We used to do a lot of FIFA in our vacation. So I had a bit of some understanding in that line, but not very cool stuff. And I never knew that I would make a career out of it. So when I got it, asked a few people around, say go do it. So that's how I actually ended up taking on computer science as a course.
As in, no career guidance.
The career guidance, that's a challenge. That actually comes when you take a wrong choice anyway.
Yeah.
But I just spoke about, if I had a chance to speak to a few of my brothers who had gone through the university.
Yeah.
One of them had done surveying, another had done something to do with business. They said, we think it's cool. And that's the only guidance I got.
They think it's cool.
They think it's cool. And that's how I ended up there. I didn't know.
The question is that at that moment in time, did they know the full length of computer science?
No.
It wasn't really understood.
It wasn't really understood. They also didn't know. One of them was just saying, I have a friend of mine that did that course, but I think he has a good job. So it was that crazy. So the future was unseen. Like, it was unclear. And
yeah.
Basically, we all wanted to go to the university at that
right,
time.
of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Being in the university at one point in time, it's a plus.
Yeah.
Especially for guys who are not doing education.
Yeah.
You know that thing of having a bias against guys who are doing education.
Exactly.
But anyway, so for you, it was statistics you wanted to do.
Yeah.
But then you ended up with computer science.
Yes.
You were good with numbers and all that stuff.
Yeah, as good at mathematics.
Yeah.
But it kind of like disappointed me when I got a C.
Yeah.
But yes, my passion was do statistics, and that's what I wanted.
But at the moment in time, right now, are you having any interaction with statistics?
No, I actually don't think if you ever given me that form again,
yeah,
I would put statistics on there.
Yeah.
No, I would actually not put statistics on there right now. And that's why I say God does things miraculously. So getting computer science, I believe, was the best choice.
You see, you're saying that in retrospect, looking back, but I want us to go to that moment in time when you're making that selection.
Yeah.
Were you like confident, or it was an adventure for you?
Yeah, man, I was confident that I needed to do statistics. And one of the things that I was that I used to like so much, I stay on Antony Road. That's where we grew up from.
Yeah.
And I used to see buses of U-bus. With guys seated in there, and they were moving.
They're looking cool.
Yeah, I would ask U-bus, and by that time they were doing national population census. So I somehow got attracted to what they do, and when I asked, they told me those guys did statistics.
Yeah,
and that's how I got attracted. Maybe one time I could be the one in that bus or something.
Yeah.
So that's how I got interested to like statistics. But
it's amazing how what influences our choices as we grow up as kids. Yeah. For me, for example, my influence was growing up in Kenya. At that time, we had one-party rule system.
Okay.
Daniel Arap Moi was the president, and people were clamoring for multi-party democracy. So we had the big names in law, people like James Orengo, Kraitu Murungi, and so on. So I wanted to become a lawyer because I saw those guys doing whatever it is that they were doing. Okay, I ended up not being a lawyer, but you see, I'm just talking about the influence
around us.
We do have.
Yeah.
Okay. So for you now, computer science wasn't even an influence. It was just a thing that appeared on paper.
Yeah.
And then you end up being given that as a choice.
Yeah. So you have four choices.
Yeah.
That's what they're given. First choice, second choice, third. I don't remember very well, but at least they give you a variety. And that's what happened to me. Like, okay, put computer science as well. I put it.
Yeah. So that was second choice.
That I think it was like my third choice.
Whoa.
Yeah, because I remember I also got a bit of an understanding, maybe because physics, I also liked physics, so I think I had a bit of some. But I knew that doing electronics, that I would not get, or civil engineering, something like that. Maybe just put. See. But it, like computer science was like the third. The truth is that I didn't know anything to do. Nothing was had influenced me. Like there was nothing. Zuckerberg, what? Nothing. I didn't know.
Bill Gates, nothing.
Okay, maybe
nothing
Bill Gates you would hear, but you even don't know
what exactly that guy is.
Exactly.
Today, if you are to give advice to S6 leavers and maybe even S4s, what would you tell them about career choices, given what you've gone through yourself?
Yeah, I think just like you said, how you wanted to be a lawyer based on your surroundings.
Yeah.
And how I also wanted to be a statistician based on what was near me. I think increasing a lot of, how they call it, exposure, like any way to increase the exposure to see how these careers actually happen, how do people do their stuff, and all that would actually help. Because even like for me, statistics, I would just see a bus.
The bus. That's it.
I did not even taken time to understand exactly what happens and all that. But I think what I would advise them is to, right now, I think the opportunities are great, so just trying to find more opportunities, move closer to people, that ask people what exactly.
Questions,
Like you have a brother or something, ask them exactly, and then maybe they will refer you to people in different kinds. Speak to them and hear. Because I believe if I had a chance to hear a guy who was doing statistics properly and then computer science, maybe it would be different. But again, also it wasn't about knowing statistics only or computer science. Also my points.
Also, what you scored. What's your capacity.
What was also very important. But I think most importantly, if they could find a way to speak to the people that are near them, to understand.
How about parents? Parents are the ones who now can expose them towards different people.
Sorry, you said that, and you know why I was inclining so much on
the kids,
on people near them, and all that. I didn't grow up with my parents. So that's now a different case. So yes, you're very right. The parents should play a part, a role, to expose them to different things that are happening. And it should not be, by the way, okay, I wanted to say that let them visit innovation hubs, let them attend ICT conferences or agricultural conferences, whatever in their dockets. But then I remembered not very many of these ones are all over the world, the country. So they are limited. But anything you can do to push you closer to knowing what you're going to be in life and have a clear understanding, it would be a good one.
Cool. So now you get into the computer lab, or was it computer class?
Computer class.
What did you see? Was your world like shocked?
This was another. Now this was another issue that came up. I go into computer science. We sit in the class. I didn't have a computer by then, so I was using my notebook. But you would get the computer
notebook,
lab.
when you say notebook, some computer geeks think of a computer.
A computer. And no. Okay, I used to have a book, and then that's where I would write my things. But you would get an opportunity, because I was in Makerere. At we had hours, so you would go into the lab and then also do some practicals. But there's a guy, even right now, he's actually doing great. He's a lecturer called Katamba Ronald. He's part of the Airtel scouting that they're doing. Did something great in agriculture, something like that. So this gentleman was the head of practical by that time. Kind of showing us codes, that. Then one thing some guy said, you know what? If you learn these things that I'm introducing to you, you can be able to do your own VLC.
As in, you can create that playing.
And by that time I was so much obsessed with
VLC,
Whenever I would go on a computer, that's the thing I had been taught.
Yeah.
You look for it, drag the song. So I said, oh man, this would be great.
Is it. Yeah.
So, but I was now challenged, and I was like, now how can I do? By then, what we were doing was just more of
basic programming,
and I couldn't see how I can do that VLC thing.
Yeah.
So things were on console, like they were just like I couldn't really visualize how I can make that, and that struck my heart so greatly, and I got so much stuck on understanding how it works.
So the intrigue was there. You want to create your own VLC.
Yeah, I wanted to create my own VLC.
It's like this guy
put
some kind of what can I say? Put some kind of urge inside of you in a totally different way.
Yeah.
Right.
And
so now you are sold to computer science.
Yeah, now I'm sold to making something using the computer.
Yeah.
And now we got, it was hard, man. Like it was hard even to write. The very first computer program is called Hello World in every programming language.
Yeah, I know it.
But now even writing Hello World was very complicated. At some point I succeeded.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what it means. So now it has written Hello World. Now what? This is not a VLC. I didn't say VLC.
Yeah.
So, but after some time, that's why I'm saying the online resources was very great. So by that time, there was a guy called Boki Roberts. He had a YouTube channel. And he was teaching computer programming on that channel. So some guys went and downloaded the entire stuff. And they would move it on flash disks. Flash disks within the campus. Man, the guy was explaining to us things. Yes, I was clicking, but it was hard. Now I sat on this guy's tutorials.
Yeah.
And he started explaining the basics. Then I would get my notice. I see things are now clicking.
Yeah.
And that's how it started. Like I just flowed a bit, and then I did all the 81 episodes of that guy.
Whoa.
I think this 4 days.
Over and above the school, whatever stuff.
Yes, over and above the school stuff.
Did it help?
The videos?
Yeah.
Wow. Let me tell you what happened. I did all the videos. Okay. There's some complicated stuff like on video 80 or something. That one I didn't do it, but it was like hard stuff.
Yeah.
But I stopped somewhere, and when I went back to the class, I was another person.
You're on another level.
Yeah, I even remember I started even making some small money for coursework for other guys. So I would go and fix this. And then so I became somewhere I got noticed.
Yeah.
And what I can say, that was a very great point for me to understand what programming is. Then I started reading other books. Some guys would give us reference from the lectures.
Yeah.
And you try to read and see. Like that. And that's how I got to understand computer programming.
You know, the interesting thing you're raising here is that you got a click from YouTube than from class.
No. Yeah, not from class,
So it's advisable when you mention tutorials, these things are available, especially for people who are in the tech world and so on. There are very many tutorials out there. Yeah, if you wanted to know how to use Photoshop, tutorials are there for free.
Exactly.
Right. If you wanted to know how to use QuickBooks and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So what language were you using initially in programming?
So initially, I started with C programming. C programming, and now C programming. At that point, I could not visualize, like I was saying. It was a console-based programming.
It was,
So you would just write a thing, then...
Do you used to cram commands?
Yeah.
You needed to cram commands?
Yeah, we needed to cram. Command. For example, those guys were telling us, we want you to program in Linux.
Yeah.
So Linux, everywhere there are commands.
Yeah.
Like you wanted to write a code, to launch a text editor for you to write, you would write a command. To run the program, you would run a command. Pretty hard stuff.
Yeah.
We would cram them actually. You had to cram them.
Okay.
But then after some time, I discovered that is like was a starting programming language. Now I was introduced to Java, like in semester 2. And
so they deliberately take you through the command languages.
Yeah.
where you have to type the commands and so on, so that your mind can be activated and all that stuff.
Yeah, because they were telling us, actually, if you learn C, guys used to tell us that, you know what, C was used to create operating systems for these computers that you're using. So this is quite it's
addressing hardware directly.
And anyone who starts with C is likely to become a very superstar in programming. Right. Currently, I see very many kids don't even attend to it.
So let's stop there for a minute. What would you advise if someone wanted to do programming very, very well? Should they just start with these graphical user interfaces programs, or they should start with C? What is your advice?
Yeah, so technology in terms of computer programming is that world is evolving so fast. But if you want, because it's about thinking and understanding the principles to the core.
Yeah.
It's just like how you go to learn driving in a driving school.
Yeah.
There are those who say, I don't need to start with the manual car.
Yeah.
Let me just go straight
to the automatic.
Yes, they will all move and reach their destination.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing with programming. So if you had an opportunity and you want to test your thinking and your everything, understanding how you could do cool stuff, algorithms, because when you have a programming error in C, when you run it on a command line, it will actually show you after you've run the program sometimes, and it might even be hard to trace where exactly that is. Now with the current programming language, or what they call IDEs, Intelligent Development Environment. If you do an error, it can actually even show you before you compile.
So it shows it's like Microsoft Word. Showing you that
error. This word is wrong. This grammar is wrong. So it can show you correctly, and then,
which is okay.
Yeah.
but now it doesn't serve the human capacity.
And then you can't do a lot of things, because at some point you're using what someone has written a language, and they put functions they think you can use. But sometimes you might want to build something out of the normal, and you need to write that function yourself, that algorithm.
It's kind of like the way it's evolving. It's kind of like at some point in time, people will not need to be gurus in programming. It's just subroutines, some functions that are put together. You just collect them and put them together, knowing what it is that you want to put together.
Yeah.
But that's not advisable for someone who wants to be deep-rooted in tech. And
someone who wants to create a revolutionary programs. You want. Because if today you wanted to create a new computer with a new iOS,
you can't.
These hybrids can't do anything.
They can't do nothing.
So that's how it started with C. Then we went to Java.
Right.
And they were saying Java is the closest
to C.
But now can do more stuff.
Right.
There's a common language they used to say it cuts all the platform. On Linux. On iOS. And on Windows. So if you wrote a program in that, you have all the platforms.
I'm sure you fell in love with Java.
Yeah, I fell in love with Java. And I can tell you, I have about, I think now 7 years. I still program in that language.
Whoa.
Yeah. With new, of course, there are new things, but I still. And I think like 4 years ago, Java jobs were very intense. But now there are new things that are coming up. Python came up, and it's now really.
When did Python come up?
Okay, for people to see, even when we were at campus, by the way, Python is relatively a very old language. I don't know exactly year. But people were used to these other languages.
Did you ever use Visual Basic?
Yes.
I
ever used Visual Basic, and I remember one of my friends phoned me. I did something so fast, and he came and was like, "Hey man, look, I have made this, and it's so cool." He said, "Man, you used Visual Basic?" Just throw that away. But still, guys would make money out of it.
Visual Basic.
Yes, they would make money out of it. Even when I was at campus, guys would write POS or like supermarket
quickly.
Okay, sometimes it would fail to scale, but they'll do something.
They'll still make some money. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it. So I think the most language that I'm proficient in is Java. But like I said, things are evolving. There's a lot of interesting stuff you can do with Python at the moment.
Yeah.
Now they are okay. From there, when we did Java,
Yeah.
that's when Microsoft now came to the university. They had a very interesting program called Imagine Cup. Now, Imagine Cup they would do regional competitions from different universities in Africa.
Yeah. In Africa.
Yeah, in Africa. So Makerere was the university that was doing the one for Uganda. So guys would come from different universities, then they would tell you if you can. They would say, dream it, live it, something like that. Like you imagine and then create, and that's how the entire startup world now and ideation started to ring into my mind.
Into your mind now, because I wanted to link that.
Yeah, away from
just the normal programming commands and so on.
Those guys, when they came, they painted a very bigger picture. Like, what? Okay, so there's a gentleman I like. I like actually crediting him. It's called Joseph Kaizi. I don't know if you've heard about Joseph Kaizi. Kaizi used to be our mentor by then. He had a very good experience with that exercise, program. So Kaizi came and was going to be our mentor. And he told us, guys, if you want to win, you have to think, you guys. And then, like he would say, hey, I think he's the first guy who took us to Cafe Java. Said, come. And then when they are said, make an order, don't worry. And then say, now you've eaten this food. I want you to imagine. We are going to participate in this challenge as your mentor, but I want you to think. Say, what do you think we can do that can change the world? Say, we can make an app that can show the nearest petrol station. Say, man, that's good, but it's not going to change the world.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was very interesting, and the idea we came up with that we submitted, it's called Joseph Kaizi. Right now it's in the US. There's the founder of Thin Void. They used to track borders and all that. He made also an hardware to do that.
Okay.
Very interesting chap. So we said, okay, by that time smartphones were quite in few hands of Ugandans, but they also had issues. Whenever you get a chance to get one, the battery life was very terrible at the moment. So I said, there is a problem. How do we solve it? And I know power banks were there, but it said, those guys are not doing the actual problem solving. We want to solve it greatly. And I remember when we sat and compiled all the idea, this is what we came up with. We said, we're going to submit an idea. It was called Smart Charger. And that charger, you are able to, our goal, our vision anyway, was that you're going to charge your phone using your voice.
Okay.
And that came from a very interesting science logic, that physics, that sound energy can be converted into electric current. I know what we're doing here. Actually, we're converting these voices into electric something, and then that's how things are supposed to happen somewhere using the microphone. When the technology for the microphone is happening, how it works is that before it's replicated for other people to hear in the speakers, it's been converted into electric somehow in some way. So that's what
you wanted to create a charger from that.
So we wanted to say, the moment your phone is going to black out,
you speak.
We are going to put a small hardware.
Like God speaking, let there be.
We are going to put a small hardware near the USB port, and that hardware will do the conversion of your voice through a bit of a speaker-related thing, converts it, charges it.
Right.
That's what we proposed. And indeed, when you look at it, it was interesting. It was amazing. By then, guys had wireless chargers. You remember, wireless chargers. And those wireless chargers were like the thing. But if we succeeded with that, we are going to be way on the top. So our research went on, we went and submitted, we pitched, I think we were third. Anyway, we were third. Even the first guy was brilliant. But after that, we realized that the kind of sound and noise that we needed to charge a phone was equivalent to that of an aircraft. You see?
Yeah.
But I believe if that solution is revised right now, to date, maybe something can happen. But again, that was a different team, and then that is what it was. Anyway, I wanted to credit the first guy that won us. I don't know if you've heard about Matibabu.
Matibabu, no.
Matibabu won the Africa Engineering Academy sometime back. They've been doing great stuff. But here also what they did.
Yeah.
Matibabu is a mobile app that you can use to diagnose for malaria without pricking your body.
I've heard, now that you say that, I have heard about that.
Yes, they were saying, we will be able to know if you have malaria or not without actually getting your blood sample. That was brilliant.
And it works, isn't it?
Okay, they are still working on it.
Okay.
It's a scientific kind of a product. They're still working it. But of it, because they have seen a lot of strides over time. So you can see, now my mind is being tuned through Microsoft coming in.
So now there is the computer programming on one end.
Yeah.
Now there's solutions development on the other.
On the other side.
So now, and then there's your friend, your mentor, who tells you to think. So it's like these three things are operating together. You have computer knowledge alone in itself can't take you anywhere. Then you have solutions that need to be developed.
Yeah.
Then you have your imagination.
You have your
imagination to be put into place.
Exactly.
So that's now you're worried.
Now I'm worried. Like, man, I thought when I get this done, how to program, it's done. Okay, my mindset was, once you learn programming, get a good job in a good company.
Yeah.
Because that's also there.
That's what you used to think.
I'm thinking, okay, if I learn these things, they will pay you extremely high and life will be good.
Yeah.
Now another guy is challenging me,
to think.
saying, hey man, you can be the guy that make the next big thing that will cause a dent in the universe. Yeah. I'm like, ooh, okay, this is interesting. And now my mind was like, no, you cannot just do an app to take people to Cavalli or something. That is small, man. That's small stuff.
Let's change the world.
Let's change the world.
Yeah.
And that experience was amazing. That experience. We were sad, but we were amazing. Actually, I have the award there.
Yeah.
The very first one. You can see it. It has Imagine Cup.
Yes.
I managed yesterday they gave us those awards. I still have it. I treasure it so much.
There are very many
awards, but that's number one.
Yeah, that's the first one.
That's the first one. And it holds a very special position in my heart because it shifted the way I thought about technology, innovation, and all that.
And you as a person in the space of thinking.
Yeah.
Thinking big. Yeah. So now, you get out of uni. How long did it take in Makerere?
3 years.
3 years?
Yeah.
What was your next step?
Yeah, so after my very first, because you see, if you had won Imagine Cup, was supposed to go to SA. Yes, was supposed to go to Italy. I don't know, some country, like there was some global event.
Yeah.
So at some point, even when we were doing the things, what was pushing us was even, I'm going to buy my first aircraft.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
But that didn't work. And then somewhere we tried it. The mentor also was busy. He got into some other stuff. So the team split.
Oh.
So once the team split, that was second year. Now in the third year, I got another great gentleman called Moses Rurangwa. He's still my friend. He was in the same class with me. So we said, okay, now man, you've been exposed to that thing. What can we do again?
Yeah.
Like USAID and other partners would come at the university and start looking for guys who are doing great stuff. So we sat down. And Moses was also very interesting. He said, you know what, man? In my family, people have had eye problems for long. And I know very many people have eye problems for long. But what can we do? Meanwhile, there was another challenge called big idea competition. It's organized by the University of Bakery in the US. So we said, what do we do? Again, we started dreaming. And the goal was that, okay, now there was artificial intelligence and machine learning. There was a good lecturer of ours by then, a visiting professor. He was called John Quinn.
Yeah.
So John Quinn also came and mixed us up again.
Yeah.
Said,
messed up your thinking.
In a lecture room, and said, you guys, things can happen.
Yeah.
We can replicate most of the things that humans can do, and then we make technology to do them.
Yeah.
And he introduced us to artificial intelligence and machine learning. I was like, how?
Yeah.
And then he would show us stuff. He was a good guy, and I still think he still does a lot of stuff, even where he is. He now works with Google. But we learned that there's a technology like image processing, so you could take a picture and then analyze it to understand stuff. So he taught us about image processing. So he said, hey man, you said you have a problem for eyes, so we're going to solve it in a very interesting way. So he said, we are going to take a picture of someone's eye, and then we are going to carry out some computations, some processes, and then know if you have trachoma or cataract or some other disease. And we took on that challenge. It was very interesting. We applied that competition. We got second place. They gave us $2,500. Like,
whoa! How old were you then?
I was it was my third year, and I was 23.
$2,500. That did something to you?
Interesting stuff anyway.
Yeah?
Young boys with money and all that. So we got that money, we won it, and then I was the lead technical person for the CTO by then. And then this gentleman was doing a lot of the CEO work for the company. So we tried to do a lot. We tried, by the way. We tried to develop it, but it was hard. AI was just new.
Yeah.
It was a little bit complicated.
Yeah.
So when the money reached here, so I think we just divided it.
Equally.
But just not equal, of course not. We had a boss whose money got to the account, and then he gave us some good stories. Oh, you are an A1. But again, that was it, and that was a very dangerous point in our process, because once we decided to choose to eat the money that way, then we are not going anywhere. So remember, we are now getting closer to third year, and then when we finished, because guys were not willing to be there without earning. The opportunities were there. We were great guys by then in Campus C. People would even come to you before. So one of the guys got a job in, is it Brookcube, some software company in Gava there. I also got a job offer from a company there in Muyenga. I stayed there and I said, man, can I go? But remember the team, the three people have all gone. One of the guys was a doctor actually. Yeah, was a doctor, because we are dealing with
the eye thing. Yeah.
The eye thing. So I stayed in there for some good time, but then we went to pitch. And Orange was still in existence, and they were running innovation programs.
Yeah.
They accepted. So because me, I had not gone for jobs, so I went to attend and also presented, exhibited. Some other guys came and said, hey man, you're doing cool stuff. I'm going to talk to my boss. He might want to hear from you. And that's how it happened. The gentleman called me. I think they took out all the two companies in Muyenga. He called me. I thought he's going to help us with proper thing. But then he appreciated what I was doing and he gave me an offer.
A job offer?
Yeah, he gave me an offer, and I didn't leave that office without accepting it.
Right.
So from there, I also got employed as a junior developer in that company. I worked there for about 2 years, and I got uncomfortable. I really got uncomfortable because all these things would ring in my mind. You can do something.
All these mentors had messed up your thinking.
Yeah.
You are never going to be comfortable again.
So I was there, and every time the guy would come on my computer and be like, Anatoli, today what are you working about? What are you working on? I say, today I'm going to prepare the form and then I'll submit data. I've created the tables.
Normal stuff.
Normal stuff, man. So one day something happened in that company and they delayed paying us. So about, I think, 2 months. And I would always, so I tried out something with my friend and said, okay, you know what? These guys are not paying. The truth is that I need to pay my landlord and everything. I said, man, I have a website. I have a website. I can bring it. If you can do it, we can get some money. And he brought the website. We did it. Get some money. I said, oh, okay, this thing is interesting. So we got another one.
So you're creating websites for people?
For people.
Right.
Outside my workplace. So I started even giving excuses.
Yeah.
Today I'm not coming to the office. I don't have transport. And indeed I did have transport because they have not paid me for some time. But this is becoming to be interesting. And after that, we formed a company. Out of that, it was called Eno Studio by then. And it was in my home. That's where we had our offices. Somehow, somewhere, it also got messed up. Guys were not bringing work again. I was bringing now work myself. I remember the biggest thing that messed me up was I went and got a job somewhere. I gave these guys an invoice. The names of this company that we have, they paid. Guys refused to sign for me to get the money out of the bank.
No, why?
They just refused. They just refused, and until when I had to give them some money, that's when they allowed.
Whoa.
Yeah. So when that also came, I said, this thing, I cannot continue with it.
Yeah.
Then there's a friend of mine called Julius. He was my friend at campus. We were programming with him. He said, man, I was in Tinder. I saw some, that was in 2015. 2015, 2016, 2016 or 17 around there. The guy said, you know what? I was in Tinder. I saw some cool space, man. It's called the Innovation Village.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, now I've left school.
Yeah.
I've graduated and I've left. So, so what is that? Because it was a good mobile developer.
Yeah.
He would come to my place. I asked him a few things and also do a few things. So he brought me to the Innovation Village. Now, you remember the ideas I had in Imagine Cup that was sparked? I saw things here, big idea of what? Said, this is my home, man. This is my home, you guys.
Yeah.
So, I just registered a new company that was doing those software and something, and then I registered myself and my sister and gave her one share. And I started operating there.
Right.
But I didn't do those things very many times. Like, it did take me a long time doing those things because the place was very interesting. I remember CK. They were calling us a startup. But then some guy came and said, hey, you guys, you're not a startup. You're just a small business. So I said, startups don't do these things. This is normal stuff for everyone. It's like, you man, what are you saying? This isn't a startup? So in my mind, I was like, a startup is just something that is just starting.
Yeah.
That was my mind.
Yeah.
Yet a startup has a very different understanding. So, and that way, very many things were happening. Guys were trying things. Guys would come around, give talks. I was like, So I would see guys pitching ideas. And in my mind, I was like, man, these guys are not pitching the one I see, they're not pitching the best ideas. And they were getting recognized and they were getting opportunities.
Getting money.
Yes. Like, man, what do I do? Now, where I was staying, I got robbed twice.
Stole your computers?
My laptop wasn't there. But I had a friend of mine called Hakim, had given me CPU. He had given me projector and also my other stuff that I had bought at my workplace. Cool stuff, yes. So I got to the village. I enjoyed life properly there, and then I even delayed my coming back. So my neighbor gave me a call. Hey, you man, everything has been taken. Everything has been swept away. Okay. She over-exaggerated, but because I found the bed there and I thought everything was
clean.
But okay, all those things were taken. And when I came back, It felt so bad. I really, really felt so bad. And I just imagined that I calculated actually when I went to the police to report. Guys were telling me, okay, that CPU, how much do you think it costed? How much was it? So we reached in 12 million man, 12 million of units that had been taken. And when those guys gave me that thing, when they were writing there, it really had to bite so deep. I was like, man, how many months of employment are these ones now? See? I said, if I was still employed, I think it would take me about 12 months to do everything that I've taken. And it was so
painful.
Remember, guys told me, think.
Yeah.
You remember the Imagine Cup introduction?
Yeah.
I said, what can I do? My first point was, how do you get these people who stole you, man? I started thinking, maybe if this camera, this is about the camera, what? Started thinking a lot of stuff. Quickly that night, I said, I don't know. I said, okay, I'm going to go on my computer and I'm going to do an app that can help people like me link to police when they have this issue.
Immediately. As in like what we see in the movies when someone is robbing the bank and someone presses a thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
First of all, it was supposed to show people nearby police stations and then maybe how they can find help. And that's what I did. Now, after doing the thing, I now remember, but man, how is it going to help you? You had your phone in the village. So how is it going to help you? So there was a bit of now some shift in new ideas. And what happened was, at the Innovation Village, there's a company called HIL. It's called the Hague Institute of Innovation and Law. So these guys ran a campaign, ran an advert, and they said, we are looking for solution in the justice space, and there are 4 categories. There are very many categories, but I remember mine. Crime and law enforcement. And if you ever apply and win, you're going to get access to 20,000 euros. You're going to get access to mentors, and you'll enter a 1-year acceleration program.
Whoa.
Oh, I said, man,
let's do this.
I said, I'm going to apply to this thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to apply to this thing. And somewhere, an idea came that, you know what? You could actually leverage neighbors, because they robbed you because your neighbors were all asleep. You see? And they called you because they care about you. So what if there was a way you can notify more than one neighbors and maybe the police when this is happening real time? Maybe you would save a lot of damage. And that was the path of the company that I lead, CEO, which is Yunga Technologies.
Why did you call it Yunga Technologies?
Yeah, we called it Yunga, and if you ask me if I was to rename it again, I would use completely different name.
Yeah.
That time, we had in the country, everyone was creating something that is local name. It's Matibabu tried to go like East Africa wise, because that was like Swahili. Yeah. So for us, we wanted, but many people were using local names.
Yeah.
So Yunga, because you remember I wanted to notify neighbors, so in Uganda it means join or connect. So that was the inspiration, and that's what.
Did you know in Swahili the word for joining in Swahili is unga? Unga. Yeah, unga. if I want to say I support you,
yes,
I'll say nakuunga mkono. You get.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's
related.
It's related.
It's related.
Yeah, it's just that U has a U on it.
Yeah, has a U on it.
Yeah,
and that's how we got in. So I had a bit of understanding of the startup from the Imagine Cup experience.
Yeah.
So we prepared our pitch decks. I actually submitted an application, but there was something very interesting during that application. Of course, when I was doing this consultancy job for developing paper application, and I'm in the Innovation Village, I love it, I like it. I would live even at around 1.
Yeah, I remember those days.
So, but I speak to people. Hey man, there's this idea that I want to talk about. Do you think it's great? People will be like, yo, that's great. Now, one of the guys within the space itself, I won't mention the name. He also came one time in the morning, said, he was telling some of the people that actually know about our solution and said, you know what? I have been robbed. My laptop, my everything. And it's true he was robbed actually. Because I saw him repressing one of the things. Said, you know what? I've thought of a solution like this one. He described exactly
what you were doing.
What we are doing.
Yeah.
And you would have seen what happened. Like my heart said, bang. And the guy was a seasoned developer. He had the money, he had everything. And I actually think he was even had more experience.
Yeah.
I was like, man. So guys said,
does his name start with P?
No.
Okay.
Doesn't start with P. So I was like, man, what is going to happen here? This guy is going to snatch this thing out of our hands.
Yeah. You know those things where people normally say, they stole my idea. That's what you would have said.
That was now happening.
Yeah.
So this is what I did as an encounter with the force that had come against us.
Yeah.
I got my phone, said I'm going to apply, but I want to pitch like a master, someone who has put in his word so that I defeat this kind of
this
approach.
one who's coming up, yeah.
Yeah. Because actually first had conversation and one of my friends was saying, let's join and make one team. And the guy was not willing.
Ah.
You see? He was not willing. So I said, now what do I do? So I got my phone call. I said the best way to win, because I had seen it at campus.
Yeah.
The best people that would always win these challenges had things that were practical.
Okay.
Guys had serious stuff. They had a prototype or something like that. They would come and demonstrate, and judges be like, whoa!
Yeah.
Those guys would have like ideas, theory
with PowerPoint.
That thing there. Guys wanted to see a demo it.
Whoa.
And even on the walls of the innovation village, there was some process for ideation stage. And they would say, show it to about 10 people.
Yeah.
And I said, now we need to visualize and practice, put this to practice. But we needed about 3 million to do that.
3 million UGX.
And I didn't have the money. Because even those small works I would do, I had completely disconnected myself. So I said, during some of the talks at the Innovation Village, guys would say, formats of fundraising. Okay, how do you fundraise? Stages of fundraising. You say there is family. You could start with family and friends. You would start now. There is another one called angel investment. Then you could go into venture capital. That's like relatively bigger investment. They would tell us where each stage you would follow. And that day, I can tell you, I put in practice the family and friends model. I got my phone.
Yeah.
I called my uncles. I called my sisters, and this is what I was telling them.
Yeah.
Hello. How are you, my sister or my brother or what? You know, I'm doing this thing. I'll first tell them what this thing does. And they're like, oh, that would be a very good thing. Come on. But now, there's a guy who came here where I work from, and he has no money, and he said he's also going to do it. I said, now what do you want me to do for you? We want to get an IP. We want to get an intellectual property, and we need this amount of money to go and do it so that we can secure it from him. Even if he does it, at least the law is protecting us.
Yes.
And that is the mission that I pushed. By then, I got 1.8.
Wow.
From the 3 million
from the families.
From the family. When I got this money, I went and asked about URSB things, what. I didn't do them. Another guy gave a talk and said, man, sometimes, again at the village, said that sometimes going into IP and all that, it's like you're attracting a lawsuit or something like that.
Yeah.
He said, Elon Musk said it, actually. Elon Musk said that you just need to be fast. So it's necessary if you can do it, but the goal is move fast.
Yeah.
And break the thing.
Be the first one.
Be the first one. So that it becomes a little bit harder for the guy coming after you. I said, okay, now if this is what this guy is saying, so we can use this money actually to do a prototype. And we did that. The prototype was very basic. You would press a button. I created a mobile app, and then we had like a small device here. If you would press a button, either from the app or the device, it would send a message to each other, just a text message, and the device would also light up, beep, and then put on some sound. Say, this is it now. So meanwhile, we applied to the first processes there. So first round, all of us are taken, him and us.
Yeah.
But man, you can see also their meetings are going on here. Like they said, I've also got policemen on my thing. What?
Pressure.
This is pressure, man. So, fortunately, man, like I think on level 3, the guy himself even came to me and said, you know what? Unfortunately, for us, we've been disqualified. We've been rejected and not been accepted. But man, I wish you the best. I said, this was a very interesting battle. We have not even reached to the finals and we stopped there. Okay, bye. Then I knew the strength I had was great. Even these people who had remained, I knew that I was not. It was going to be a very good run anyway. So those guys, that program, we got accepted. We were like 20 teams, I think. We did it. Now it was real acceleration. This is one of the things that I can credit that I've ever learned in my life.
Yeah.
This program was very life-changing in terms of product development as a person. These guys got guys to fly in from The Hague, from the Netherlands. They came here. We went to some beach in Entebbe. We had some good days there. We would go there every day. They would pick us there at the Innovation Village Complex.
And you drive there, yeah.
We go, they train us, we go. So that thing helped me in a way that I repositioned my solution based on customer needs. That's where now customer journey and discovery has been like real stuff. Like don't just sit and do
an app.
No. You need to understand
the customer.
The customers. And now the one thing they told us, we designed some cool forms and questions. They said these are like guidelines. Like it shouldn't be like you're going to ask a specific question. You need to. So they said, what do we want you to do? You're going to go into that community. We don't want you to say anything about your product.
Wow.
We don't want to ask them anything. We want you to ask. We want you to validate your assumptions. Of course, we would write assumptions. What do you think is true? They would ask you. I believe
it's like you do some kind of market research or sorts.
That was market research, but with the lean startup model this time around. Something. It's that actually market research. So you would go there and ask people, okay, thank you, how are you? They even gave us good ways to introduce ourselves for people to accept us. We are university students. We are doing research. We want to ask you about crime rates and how in your community or something like that. And guys would appreciate and even give us money when we are leaving for the interview. They would give us knowledge. They said, so you would ask them, have you ever received a break-in? Say, I've received a break-in. Let me tell you how it started. You come in, and then you have to hear the guy, how he tells you, I was not home, but it's not me, it was my neighbor. I wanted to help them, I didn't have airtime on my phone, I didn't know how to connect to the officer, I didn't know it. You get it? Like, we got real knowledge, man, like real customer feedback. And from there we went back, we assessed everything, say, okay, what is going to change on your solution? And there were intense stuff. There's a lot of stuff that would change.
After you've interacted with the customers,
you
realize that there's things that we need to reposition, things that you need to change.
With facts now. That's very important. Facts.
With the real
data. Real people, with the real data. Not biased. You know why it's not biased?
Yeah.
Because you told them university students. You're not trying to sell them something.
You're not telling them I'm building something so they will bias it.
They will bias it.
Yeah.
And exactly, because during that training, we learned something about the MAM test. And the MAM test is a very interesting approach, whereby you say, Rollins, you're there, you're my friend. Come and say, hey man, I have this idea. Once you have it, and once we have this idea, it can do A, B, C, D, and all that. What do you think about it? You're my friend. Sometimes we don't want to
disappoint you.
You just be polite and you're like, that'll be a cool thing. That'll be a cool thing. And also you don't know if it will work or not. So you don't want to tell the guy it won't. Just say, man, I never know. Maybe the guy think can work. I don't know. So you give me a biased answer. So more like your mom. Your mom will tell you that's a good one. She'll even guide and give you capital.
Yeah.
Even when she knows it might not work or something.
Yeah.
So that was very clear for us that you don't need to speak about your solution. You just need to learn about the problem.
So you go to the customer directly.
Yeah.
With the investigative mind of finding out what is their problem.
Of finding out exactly if the problem you're trying to solve bothers them actually.
If they identify with the problem you're trying to solve.
Yes.
Okay.
And I remember they told us properly, if you don't get 7 out of 10 people confirming what you're trying to solve, don't. Because they would choose for you a hotspot. Because I remember by that time in Debe, there were Bijambia people. I don't know if you still recall that point. They would kill women and all that. Yeah. So they would get for you a good spot for you to ask a question. So 7 out of 10, don't. Because you're going to struggle in the market. Maybe if you chose the wrong interview segment.
This location,
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
That is a very powerful way of doing it.
Yeah.
So what did your results show you?
So
did you get 7?
So we got about 8.
Whoa.
But because of our extensive questions, the way they told us, because remember, many people were not being broken into their homes. Many people were on the gate or reaching there. So we managed to get out of that side. But the 7 comes after refining. You get it? What you have here, and based on your mission, are they doable? Or you're going to be diverted a lot? And because we introduced a bit of some outdoor solution also, then it got very fine. Very fine. Then also the things of where you leave your home. Most of people would say the installers, like how it happened to me anyway. But I was not home. It was my neighbor, I couldn't help. I called the OC's number, it was off. I didn't have airtime. There were a couple of things that, and then we got 8. Of course, one of the mentors was saying, I don't believe with other people's idea of your 8, but it's my opinion. Yeah. So when we got 8, we repackaged it.
Yeah.
We repackaged the
solution. Yeah.
The solution. And then now we do the phase. Before they give you the money, you need to be very clear what you're going to do and what the outcomes will be and the output exactly. So what happened is that we went now for the challenge actually. From there, they helped us. Everyone would see what we're doing, but we had a grand day to pitch at Africana. So they wanted about 4 people.
Wow.
It's one of the best competition that I've ever gone to. 4 people, each month, each same amount of prize.
$20,000. €20,000.
Yeah, all of you have access to the same amount.
Wow.
One of the best I've ever. So now, that day I remember, they were telling us, now you've seen everything. Yeah? Come and pitch and see how you're going to pitch on that date. Strictly, it was my tactic. I didn't pitch, but I saw what everyone was doing. None of the mentors said, you have tried to give you an opportunity, but you refused. It's okay. See? But me, I knew that once I pitch, girls would see my strength and maybe try to encounter it.
Yeah.
Remember, I had it from the initial phase of stealing idea.
Yeah.
My man, we went to Africana. and we pitched.
Right.
I think I had a lot of energy. I was
You're
ready.
excited. Yeah.
I was ready. I remember at one point I was even moving out before my time of pitching. They have those door glasses.
Yeah.
I even didn't know. I went and just knocked I hit my head on the window, and guys, all of guys looked behind and said, "What is this guy about?" Okay, come on, let's be you, man. Are you okay? You can't see the so, man, I'm sorry. It didn't break anyway. So when my time came, I really gave out my best.
Yeah.
We did a demo.
Yeah.
Did everything possible, man, and we got first place.
Whoa.
Not even second, first place.
Whoa.
I would even see the energy when I'm pitching, and I knew that I had already
you
won.
are one. As in, you can tell it's making sense.
It's making sense. People are saying, whoa. When you finish, guys,
Clapping.
clap.
It's over.
That's it.
It's
This
done.
one is done. I saw what all these guys pitched.
It's done.
And man, that was the introduction of the very first funding. It was a grant from those guys, and we started working on this application, which is called Yunga. It has evolved over time. We have done 11 iterations of that device that you see. It started with a box like this, then wood, then 3D, then now we're able to create our own plastic at the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah.
If a guy wants to, because your startup, it's computer, all that stuff, but in the realm of security. You're not a security guy.
No, I'm not a security guy.
But you're a programmer, you're an IT person.
Yes.
But you're having a solution
Yes.
in crime prevention and security and all that
Yeah.
stuff. In a nutshell, how does your solution work?
Yes, so I want you to, in a nutshell, we call this a service bus.
Service bus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we're not security people.
Yeah.
So, number one statement, Yunga connects a neighbor to a neighbor and a neighbor to law enforcement in case of an attack or emergencies. That's like anyone can understand it. But what you need to know, how do we connect them? So, we come to your community.
Yeah.
Say you stay in Chira. We normally target hotspots, like people that have a lot of these issues.
Yeah.
And we say, want you to organize you in groups of about 20, maybe to 30 households. Minimum is 10. Now, all these people, homes commit to work together with the police station nearby them. So we install our hardware, we onboard each of them independently. Each home, we give them the Yunga gadget with its add-ons.
Yeah.
Then after installing it in a home, we connect it to your mobile app.
Right.
See?
You install a mobile app
We
on
install
my
a
phone.
mobile app for you to manage your device.
Yeah.
And
Each person, each household.
Each household.
Right.
Now, we have 10 or 20 people, all of them having the Yunga device. The police has also been given one. Usually that's a free device.
The one for police.
The one for police. Now, let's say there are 2 modes. Let's say I am home and I'm being taken. Guys that want to break into my home. I have 2 alternatives. I can use a button on my phone that's near me. I push it for 2 seconds, and then it will turn on my home alarm. But it also communicate on all these 10 corporate homes. All their devices will go off actually. The police device will also be engaged. That's me. I'm in the home, someone's trying to take advantage. What does that? It distributes the alarms in the community. And with the research we have done, because you know I'm not a security guy, but I've taken time to understand how security works. In crime psychology, they tell you that once we're 2 people here, me and you, and I want to take advantage of you in our offices here, one thing I am going to first do, I'm going to make sure no one knows about what I'm going to do to you or I'm doing to you. The moment I anticipate that someone there, even if they have not known, but they're just moving around there, I'm going to become very uncomfortable. I might even abandon the process and even take off. Or say, move or what, something. So that crime psychology, that's how it operates. And that was the reason for us to distribute these alarms. To let people that you're trying to take advantage of Rollins, but
so
we have
if it's only Lawrence who is affected and he can't raise an alarm, then he's in more danger. But if all the alarms are raised, the level of security is kind of increased.
What I'm telling the guys that yes, you've managed to take advantage of him, but I have 10 households, including police. They know you're doing this to him.
Yeah, so you're not comfortable
be
doing
strong
it.
and remain. Or free. Free.
Yeah.
So that's the logic of our system. And by the way, it's not to scare them, but it's true. All the 500 households that we have, 61 cases that have been prevented that way. Police come when they have already gone. We are not security people. We are not bothered to get these criminals. That's not our job.
That's not your job.
Our job is to keep our customers.
How do the police know where to go?
How does the police know where to go? Now,
because for example, if you are in Chira and there are 10 households, and all those 10 households, not 10 households, let's say 10 locations. Each location has 10 households.
Yes.
Each one of them is connected. How will the police know this is location 1 that we're supposed to go to?
Number one, that's a very interesting question, Lawrence. Thank you. So this is what happens. Once we come and deploy at your home, we have 2 mechanisms that will aid police to reach you quickly, faster. So number 1, we have a strobe light. That strobe light is always on the rooftop of your home. It's like a beacon, like it keeps changing lights. That's one. That's how they can identify the affected home. Because the other homes, the alarms will go off, but you can switch it off as long as you've seen who is in danger. And we don't switch off for so long. Now, number 2, when you register and have this device at your home, you consent to give us, we tell you to stand close to your device and you give us the GPS locations. Now, those are the ones that we use in areas in case the OC is new, in case the officer is new, doesn't know the roads in this community. We use that to route you using the mobile app. But these are communities where the OCs and the police officers they know the roads. They even many times, even when they see the name of the family household,
so they can be able to see the name.
Yes, it's a screen. It's a device that has.
It's on the screen.
It's screen.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yes, there are contacts. There's a lot of support that we give them to aid. We also have right now we introduced a center where we also do a bit of follow-up. So before, we would leave it to the neighbors and police will sleep. Then we wake up and we see on WhatsApp people describing what happened. Then one community in Kirigwajjo challenged us and said, we need to know when this thing happens. What does Yunga do? What do we do? What does police do? And now for us, when it was happening, we were isolated out of the game, the model. Like you said, we are
security people.
Right now we have a call center where we do alarm watching.
So like a back office of sorts.
Back office. So we also engage and say, this is the house nearby, which will also be part of them. And that's extremely paid for. Monthly subscription if you want it to happen.
So if guys are listening to us, maybe they have offices or they have homes and so on, and they wanted Yunga security to protect them from being broken into and so on. How do they get in touch with you? You have a website?
So when guys want our services, we have a lot of online resources online. We have a website, and then we have also our booking number, the WhatsApp number you can use or call. So our website is yungag.com or website yunga-ug.com.
yunga-ug.com.
Very complicated.
Yes.
But the moment you type
yunga-ug.com,
you get us all over the place.
And
then we also have a booking number where you can call anytime. And then
have you scaled into East Africa?
Very interesting question.
Because it's not a Ugandan problem.
No,
it's could be even a worldwide problem.
Let me tell you, we haven't scaled across Africa, but we know this is a key Africa problem.
It's a key Africa problem.
Yeah, and I can tell you by numbers. Our research says that, okay, with our market size today, we have 66.6 middle household income that we are targeting across Africa.
66.6 million.
Yeah, households. And in Uganda, our target is relating to people who can afford us, actually.
Yeah.
It's very important to know that not everyone can afford us.
Yeah.
And people have other alternatives.
Yeah.
So in Uganda, we have about 2.2 million households, but then our target is to do 32,000 of that.
Okay. Who can afford you, and how much do they pay you?
Yes, so first of all, anyone who is
conscious about their security.
Very, very perfect. You read it out from my mind. Yeah. Anyone who's conscious about their security. I normally ask many of my customers before they vote in our engagement sales cycle. I'll be like, hey man, you have your wife and your children. I see you travel so much our country or even abroad. When you leave these people, then in which hands do you leave them? Like, how do you really live in? Like, what did you like? And the guys will be like, man, nothing. And then I also ask another one that anyway, let's say you've been attacked at home and you're there also. So would you make an alarm, you as a man in the house? Tell me if you do that. And you're like, okay, if you can't, then I have a digital mouth alarm for you. And kind of like, oh, so your woman see you like screaming. After that, they will make a story say, wait, I feel so dark, screaming. Stop positivity. Wait, that was crazy. Is it? So those are the people that are very cautious about us. But also we know that the amount of money we charge is almost 3 times cheaper the existing traditional alarm systems. And we do this specifically because we know security is a basic need.
How much do you charge?
So for a community, let's say that you're 10 households and above, we charge 700,000 per household.
Per household, per month, or forever?
That's the initial fee.
Yeah.
That you pay for the hardware, the connection, installation. Yeah, all that money, all those things are on that money. Now, we give you 1 year free of subscription because we route messages around, we send to police, we coordinate, we have a back office that sets you up and helps you even work with the community. But for the very first year, you will not pay anything. But after 1 year, we request you to just pay 120 a year, and you're sorted.
120,000 subscription fee.
Yeah.
For the whole year.
It's
like 10K per month.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and now if someone wants it at their office, there's also what they call a single household connection. A guy is in his community alone, doesn't think he will collaborate with many people.
Or maybe he wants and other people don't want to collaborate.
Yeah, so we give them what we call a single household connection around Kampala at an extra 100K. Now
so
it becomes 800,000. And then we'll now, because on the app, they'll set up.
Let me ask you one powerful question here.
Yeah.
Because one of the bottlenecks I know that you're going to face, or maybe you're facing, is in the marketing, in the sales of this, is I am thinking, hold on 1 minute. I am buying this thing. This is 700K I'm paying. And then the landlord is going to tell me to relocate or to move. What happens?
Else.
Yeah.
So with that amount, we've always been very true with our promises.
Yeah.
Any person who is shifting, but you're not shifting very far away from Kampala.
Yeah.
Shifting from one place in Kampala or elsewhere.
Yeah.
We do the shifting.
Okay.
But also, when we give you a younger device, it's a journey and we want to grow with you.
Yeah.
Like maybe sometime next year, this time, we will be making it completely wireless to make the installation
to the gadgets.
yourself.
So it's easy to move. You can just plug and play of sorts.
Yeah, but also very powerful question you asked, and I need to say this.
Yeah.
You see, if you're renting, we also have a model for landlords.
Yeah.
So a landlord can just get his service into his apartments, and anyone who comes in just gets an app. They add it and they use the service when they're living.
So the landlord can actually have it installed, pre-installed.
Yes.
Let's talk about new landlords who have never done this.
Yeah.
They can have it pre-installed, and they can actually pass the charge on to the security charge onto into the tenants.
Exactly, and what that does is that it creates a lot of value for your homes, man.
Yeah,
it's very important that the landlords now need to think of new ways to be innovative and keep their tenants very secure, more secure. So once someone is leaving, the landlord just goes on the app and removes all of them. When a new tenant comes, they add them. They start using the service instantly. So that's where we are heading.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I know there are very many things we can talk about, but time doesn't allow us. Because I am 100 and I'm actually 1,000% sure this is not your last venture. Actually, I know, and you never told me, but I know this from a fact that there are some other totally unrelated things that you're developing. Because you're a tech person. And you've been taught to problem solve. You've been taught to think big. And I know that those things are coming. And when they do come, we'll be here to talk again.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Thank you. And before I leave, the world has 1 billion problems. And that gives me the reason as to why this shouldn't be my solution today.
Nice. Nice.
Exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Anatoli from Yunga Security. Yunga what?
Yunga Technologies.
Yunga Technologies. If you are interested, and I know you are, in enhancing your security around your girls, around your gadgets, around your boys, around your church, around your household, around your family, the security is available. And it's enhanced because, guess what? The police themselves are on board. We didn't even talk about that.
Exactly.
Because the police are on board officially, isn't it?
The police are on board officially. And we are finalizing a few of our MOU with them. But we've been working with them since day one,
Right. They are involved. It's not that something that they don't know. In fact, they do appreciate this, isn't it?
They do appreciate them. We even had a conversation with them at Trip Hotel. So they're quite moving with them.
All right. So guys, until another time when we talk to another technologist, maybe the last one in this month of September, we are wishing you all the best. Please stay safe and God bless you. Bye-bye.